Hey, you. Yeah, you. What you doing? I know what I'm doing. I'm starting my week off right with Talking About the Blues podcast, baby.
What's going on? What's going on? You are now bluesing with the #1 blues broadcast in New York City. Talking about the blues, baby. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the website. Stay tuned for our live interviews, baby. What's going on? What's going on? Once again, you are bluesing. We're talking about the blues. And we have a special guest today. I am joined by Gina Coleman, lead vocalist of Misty Blues. Gina, how are you today?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm just bluesing.
It's great to be on the show.
Thank you very much. First of all, I have to say, listening to your music, you have a great voice.
Thank you.
And your band has a great sound. Now, before we go into your journey, I just want to make sure we shout out the band members of Misty Blues. So we have Jason Webster, who is a guitarist and vocalist, right?
That's right, yes.
Jeff, let's see if I say the name right, Duziak.
Duziak.
I was close. Another guitarist and vocalist. Then we have Bill, oh man, y'all killing me, Patriquin.
Right.
Patriquin, okay, bass and vocals. We have Benny Cohn.
Cohen.
Okay, I was close. He's the keys, and we got Rob Tatton. I know I can't mess that up.
I know, no, you got that spot on.
Now, that's the lineup of Misty Blues. I want to know how you guys got together.
Well, right after I graduated from college, and we're based out of Western Massachusetts, graduated from Williams College. I was working in the Berkshires, which is the most western part of the state. And I was out with some friends, and my singing career started on a dare. I was at a little club in Pittsfield, Massachusetts called La Casinas, and they had an open mic night and had a little bit of liquid courage in me, and so my friends dared me to get up on stage, and I did, and I won that night.
Wow.
Yeah. So it became a place we would go to every week, and before long, other musicians were asking to accompany me, and I started off in a duet with a gentleman named Dave Lincoln. We were called the Siblings.
Nice.
And we did a whole array of like classic rock tunes and some ballads and just some core classic folk tunes as well. And then I moved on and started a band called Cold Connection, and that's when I first met up with Jeff Duziak and Bill Patriquin, more in Misty Blues now. But after a while with Misty Blues, I had an opportunity to play in the Williamstown Theatre Festival, and it was a production of a Raisin in the Sun.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
I'm extremely impressed about that. That is vintage material right there.
Yeah, it was the last minute. I guess the director decided that he wanted to have a blues singer do the transitions between the scenes, and so I got a call at the last minute to do this production, and there's some cool cats in that production. The lead actor was Rubin Santiago-Hudson. Kimberly Elise was in it, and Viola Davis, before Viola Davis was Viola Davis.
Wow.
And it was Rubin Santiago-Hudson said, you need to stop playing that folk music you've been playing. You need to start doing the blues. So I turned to the guys in my band after he gave me a collection. It's called Men Are Like Streetcars, and I listened to it. I'm like, yeah, he's right. I should do the blues. So I turned to the guys in my band. I'm like, who's in for a change? And it was basically the core, which is Jason Webster, Jeff Duziak, and Bill Patriquin on bass. And we started this blues band back in 1999.
Wow. Now, here's my question to you.
Sure.
Isn't folk just an offspring of the blues?
Absolutely. There's not a lot of difference, but there's a lot more soul.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, you have an interesting style because you guys bring out that vintage Mamie Smith.
Ma Rainey,
That's right,
Bessie
Ma Rainey.
Smith, Big Mama Thornton. I mean, the band grew out of female blues music. 'Cause that first collection I received was called Men Are Like Streetcars, which is a collection of female blues artists from, the early 1900s until, right around, the beginning of Tracy Chapman's career. So in the, 90s there.
Right, which
so
she
that was
again
the
is a blues
foundation of the
artist.
band, and then we started to infuse a lot of other classic male blues artists as we started to spread our wings.
Dig it. Now, I have to say, women in blues, they have to be celebrated because for what it's worth, those initial albums is what put the music on the map.
Oh, yeah. It was safe.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's what they thought.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't know those women.
Exactly. But, I've spoken to a lot of blues musicians, historians, and, male and female alike. And I have to say, this is, you and your band are the first people I came across that actually was like, we are going to celebrate through our music, not just, through different projects and stuff, but through your music, the early women of blues. I must say that's really groovy.
Yeah, the guys just loved the music, and they were ready for whatever ride we were gonna embark on. But they're like, as long as the music is good, we're up for you.
So, what did you listen to growing up?
Well, growing up, I listened to a lot of Motown, but crossed with a lot of salsa music, a lot of Celia Cruz, so a lot of Tito Puentes. So I grew up in the South Bronx, so it was really a pretty even mix of African Americans and primarily Puerto Ricans.
Right. So you had a good diaspora of music, which all comes from Africa.
Correct.
Right. So either way, you were still at the core of this foundation. So now you say that you went up on stage on a dare and you won. So that tells me you already had the chops. So what's your journey with performance and singing? When did you start singing? I know it could not have been that day.
To be quite honest, I mean, I did in college a few little vocal performances, but they were wrapped up in academic classes. It wasn't for performance sake. I never sang really publicly until that dare.
Wow. So you sang like around your friends or in the house or, just like on your leisure?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm stumped, of course, because what I'm hearing is, what you're telling me is you just had, because you and I know music, you're telling me you just had the ultimate ear, because you was just able to mimic these sounds.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with music. I mean, I played the piano since the age of 5, and I played other instruments all along the way. So it's not like music was foreign to me in its academic sense.
There it is. There it is. That piano training helped you, because you have a voice. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of us, not some, everybody has a natural sound. It's really developing it. And I must say, you have quite a developed voice. So I was trying to get to the bottom of this. Where did the voice come from?
I think early on in my career, I was more relying on the power that I could put behind sounds. I think that's where my distinction was. And now later in my career, my sound comes from my ability to trust that what I hear in my head will come out of my mouth.
Okay. And that's good, and that's something that should be touched on, because there's a lot of artists who sound good, but the only reason why they're not quite believable because they don't trust what they have. So I'm happy that you touched on that for the artists that's listening.
It's taken me a long time, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, you had to build up the chops.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, this is Mrs. D. You can hear Talking About the Blues podcast on Podomatic, YouTube, and iTunes. Remember to rate the show and show us some love.
So I'm here with Gina Coleman of Misty Blues. We're rapping about Misty Blues, her journey, and the vocal power. Let's talk a little bit about the business of music in your journey.
Well, you know, I always aspired. Once I realized that I did have a gift, or something that, I'm not sure. It took me a long time to realize that there was a gift. I just thought I was fortunate and in the right place. I love the idea of being an artist. It was the starving part that didn't appeal to me.
I don't think that appeals to anyone.
And so I've managed to keep a full-time side other gig while I've been doing my music. And that's been pretty hard to juggle, but, it works for me and the responsibilities I have with my family, who happen to be amazing. My husband and my 2 sons are just wonderful.
That's groovy. That's groovy. So, just out of curiosity.
Sure.
How come we don't have a staple singers? How come the whole family's not up there just belting the blues?
I'm working on them.
Yeah, because I'm working on mine. I'll let you listen, but see, I'm very passionate. So I think my eagerness comes across real Joe Jackson-ish. So I'm trying to pull it back.
Well, my oldest son, who's 11, is a drummer.
Nice.
And my youngest son is taking piano lessons. Actually, they're taking them with my current drummer of Misty Blues, Rob Tatton. He's a music educator in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. So he's a multi-instrumentalist. That is one talented dude.
Yeah. That's dedication.
So I always say, I'm like, Rob, you're training him to take your spot in Misty Blues because it'll be cheaper for me.
So, you guys also do gospel, which, again, to me, that is the blues, but you guys have gospel music as well. Yeah.
That actually came about. We did a gospel CD a couple of years back, called Roadhouse Revival. And we would play this little roadhouse in town not too far from us, called Listons. It's in Worthington, Massachusetts. And some of the patrons there were asking us, we should put out an album, a gospel album. I'm like, really? We're a blues band. I'd never really thought of the gospel piece, but and he's like, would you buy it? Like,
yeah,
absolutely. And I'm like, well, if I can sell it, I'll make it. So we put together some just classic gospel tunes, but did it our style, more like gospel music that you would hear in a roadhouse or a juke joint.
Right, back in the originals, the spirituals.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, I'm heavily into that.
We did a classic, and we did have to hold true to the blues. So I think I would consider one of the best tracks on that album was done by we did a Reverend Gary Davis tune. I Belong to the Band.
Nice.
Very pleased with that. And then we did something interesting. We did a medley of, I believe it was Swing Low, Amazing Grace, and Will the Circle Be Unbroken? And we just jammed all three back to back. So there's like this one mega long track in it.
But you got to do that sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
you got to do to keep the people going. Now, back to the business aspect. You guys are independent artists. You're an independent group, right?
Yes.
So, what has been your biggest achievement as an indie group in terms of business, that is, and what has been the toughest hurdle that you guys had to get over?
Well, I just view our biggest achievement is that we've been around for such a long time as a real solid core, and we've been able to amass this great arsenal of auxiliary musicians that we call on, on a regular basis. And we've been around since 1999, which is a long time for a band in our area.
Yeah.
We're always able to give ourselves a little different twist by bringing in different musicians who have different talents. Our last CD, which is called With All Due Respect, which pays homage to some of the earliest blues music ever written, we brought in just a fantastic guitarist, Matt Berger, out of North Adams, Massachusetts, and our saxophone player, Aaron Dean, who's phenomenal. He's just, I was really surprised. And I'd say surprised because the album that preceded this one was an original blues album, and we had a special saxophonist play, and that was Charles Neville. So
Wow.
Charles Neville's on our last CD.
Wow.
So they're bringing a new local saxophonist for this project. I'm like, wow, you got a big shoe to fill.
Absolutely.
And they're so different. He's so wonderful.
Wow.
And I was just pleasantly surprised. My drummer, Rob Taddy, said, you got to call this guy. You got to call him. He'll be great for the album. And I just trusted him.
That's what it's about, and that's probably that's a main reason why you guys was able to last.
Yeah.
And that's really groovy.
Yeah, no egos, just folks who just want to play some decent music and be out there and enjoy ourselves.
Now, you've mentioned a lot of covers. Do you guys write any original music?
Yeah, that last CD that we put out, the one before this one with Charles Neville, is a completely original CD.
Okay, so
that one's called Between the Stacks. We commandeered a library in upstate New York to put in the studio on a Sunday, and we recorded the entire album that one day with Charles Neville in the room.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's big stuff right there. So, do you write the songs, or is it a collective effort? How does this work? What's the process?
Well, I wrote, for that album, I wrote most of the songs, although Jason Webster contributed to an original on that one. One of my guitarists, and Jeff Duziak, the other guitarist, contributed a track. But for the most part, I'll write the songs, and then we come together for rehearsal, and I let the guys do what they think they need to do in order to make the lyrics come to life. So
in the process, the composition of the music, is that just you guys sitting around jamming, and then when you feel something, it's like, yeah, that's it? Or is Jason or Jeff or you or any of the other gentlemen like composing the actual music?
Well, generally when I write, the tune, the raw structure of the tune comes with the lyrics. So it's a fully formed package, and I know that's unusual, but that's how it's always been. So I will just, take my phone or a recorder, and I'll sing the song with the raw structure, the melody, onto a recorder, and then generally I hand it over to Jason.
Okay.
Jason Webster, and between Jason and Bill, and that's how the song is created. They listen to the raw structure, and then they build it in layers
around around the foundation of your voice.
Exactly.
Okay, that's groovy. That's groovy.
Yeah, and I trust them. I mean, they're real quality musicians, and I once it is that raw tune and those lyrics are created, I let go, and then I just like it's in your ballpark now. Just make sure it's in a key that I can sing it to.
Right.
Talking About the Blues mission is to celebrate our heritage and preserve blues music. Join the movement and go to www.talkingabouttheblues.com. That's TalkingBoutTheBlues.com. Go to our story page, and there you will find information on how to donate to the cause. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and subscribe to our YouTube page. And don't forget to keep bluesing.
So if you're just tuning in, we are chatting with Gina Coleman, lead vocalist of Misty Blues. So now, you guys have this vintage sound, you have this vintage flavor. Do you match that with your outfits when you perform live?
That's funny, the boys will laugh. No, we're pretty relaxed, very relaxed. We're not classic blues with, the full ensemble and the three-piece suits kind of deal. My boys are, T-shirt and jeans kind of guys, and I'm not that far off from that myself. but when we're not playing local shows, like if we're playing something about, a more visible level, like a blues festival, we just, give me a dark shirt and dress shoes, guys. That's all I ask.
Understood. So what blues festivals have you guys performed at?
Yeah, we just recently performed at the MCLA Blues and Funk Festival, which is a college in Western Massachusetts. And this is their 10th year. And oddly enough, we did the first year of this blues festival where we opened up for Papa Crow's Funk.
Wow.
New Orleans. That first time we surprised the crowd because we were opening for Papa Crow's Funk, but we surprised the crowd by bringing Charles Neville with us.
Wow.
Now, I keep on going back to Charles Neville because Charles Neville actually, he moved to a town not far from where we play all the time. And about 8 to 10 years ago, we kind of linked forces, and every couple of times a year, we've been playing with each other for the past near decade.
Wow, that's groovy.
That's the connection that we have. But yeah, we did that first festival, and then we did this one just a couple of weeks ago, where we opened for Albert Cummings, who's another just phenomenal blues musician.
It sounds like you have a strong fan base there. Do you guys travel around the States or even overseas at all?
Well, we'd love to travel overseas. That'd be really wonderful, but we haven't as of yet. We have a couple of years back. We went down to New Orleans. We were invited to perform at the JW Club on Canal.
Nice.
To the Millennium Music Conference. So that was a lot of fun. We've been out to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and there's probably not a point in New England that we haven't performed. But yeah, we'll go if you're willing to pay for us. We'll go anywhere.
That's the name of the game. So let me ask you this: after the songwriting process, after the layers are put on, and then the rehearsals, and then the recording, then you guys produce it and line up the songs in a way that you think flows. Mm-hmm. What is it that you want the audience to receive? Is there a message? Is there a feeling? What is it you want them to get from this music?
Well, this last CD in particular, which is about, paying homage to early stuff. I worry that about what the younger generation is listening to today, and I don't want the brilliance of this genre of music to fall by the wayside. So my intent was, if we could reinvent it and bring it to a new audience, that would be so wonderful in sustaining the life of this just grand music. And that was really the intent behind that. In terms of technically, as we were putting the tracks together, I wanted a good flow. I want to bring you up, and I'm going to bring you down a little, and come up and down, and just keep you on a roller coaster ride, just like so people could understand the vibrancy and the variations in this type of music. That it's not all one type. This music is so diverse in how it can take you musically and move you spiritually.
Right. That's really what it's about. Now, speaking of young people today, the style of music that they listen to, the message of music that they listen to, the false, in some cases, false dreams that their soul, become a recording artist and you can make $1 million, or you get $1 million.
I laugh as a blues artist because I don't think there's many of us out there.
Except for maybe
even the greatest are struggling to make that kind of money.
Right. So if you had an opportunity to sit down with a young artist who actually had an open ear to hear what you had to say, what would be your best advice to them based on your experience in this business?
Surround yourself by good people. I think that's at the core of it. If you have good people around you who really care about, allowing you to be creative, but keeping you away from some of the just really dark side of this industry, you'll be fine.
What's going on? What's going on? You are now bluesing with the #1 blues broadcast in New York City, talking about the blues, baby. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the website. Stay tuned for our live interviews, baby. Keep bluesing. Performing live as much as you guys do, and I know you have a community. You have beyond a core fan base. You guys have a community of people following at this point.
Yeah, we do. We actually have an oddly large community of fans from South America.
Wow.
I know. Our original CD, Between the Stacks, I decided to re-record a couple of tracks in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, please. I have to stop for 1 second.
Sure.
Okay? Because understand that, well, you understand this. Audience, understand the Nat King Cole going on right now. This is serious. I'm sorry. And I'm not even trying to be funny. What I'm trying to get the audience to understand is this is how you expand your creativity. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, not at all. I mean, I grew up in the South Bronx. I'm a New Yorican, so, I spoke Spanish growing up in my neighborhood, so it was pretty natural to think of some of those original tunes in Spanish. So we did, and we released it on. We worked through Reverb Nation and Facebook, and we got this amazing response from folks in South America.
Wow.
Which was really fun, and I think it was like over the course of a week we went from 500 Facebook fans to almost 8,000.
Wow. So now you mentioned Reverb Nation. Or do you guys deal with TuneCore or CD Baby or any of those others? CD
Baby is the distributor of most of our digital music. Reverb Nation has just been wonderful as a, just as a place to really display all of our stuff in a really easy format, like our videos and post our tour dates and pictures of the band. And it's a really easy format because it also links anything we post in Reverb Nation gets posted out to our Twitter and our Facebook accounts immediately. So it's kind of one shopping there.
Well, that's really good. And speaking of tour dates, you guys have an upcoming show here in my neck of the woods, one of the premier blues venues in New York City, Terra Blues.
That's right. We're there on March 27th.
Very groovy, very groovy. Now, you mentioned, excuse me, that you guys are on Reverb, Twitter, and Facebook. So what's the handle so the people can know how to and where to reach you?
Reverb Nation is just Misty Blues, but everywhere else is Misty Blues Band.
What's next for Misty Blues, and what's next for Gina? What's next for Misty Blues? I think we're looking at the next recording project, and I think we're gonna do a fusion of blues and funk. Nice.
Yeah.
So we got to get you guys back. We got to get you back. Now, is there anything that you want to tell the audience before we bring it to a close?
Check us out. Give us a listen, and if you're anywhere near where we're playing, come out and say hi.
And get down there to Terra Blues on Bleecker Street on the 27th of March.
March 27th.
That's right. You have been bluesing with Talking About the Blues, coming straight out of New York City. Only do two things, good people. Praise God and keep bluesing.